Good morning, church. I'm here this morning with Linnae VanBlarcum, a member of Hard Church, and she has shared with me some of her medical story, and I wanted you to hear that. And so we're going to talk here for a few minutes with Linnae and hear her story. And so, Linnae, you recently shared with me some of that you had an MRI
Yes.
and your experience. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, about a year and a half ago, I was diagnosed with a non cancerous, slow growing brain tumor. And one of the treatment methods is to have MRIs done periodically. And I've always was afraid of them. The first time I ever took one, I had to take medication to help me relax. And I decided this just wasn't the right way to go. So I decided the last time I was putting it in the Lord's hands. And before I went, I asked for a prayer of peace and non anxiety and just to be calm as I had the test done. And it was really amazing because as soon as I was put in, it's like a big tunnel that I have to go into and with a cage around my head. So, I mean, it's not normal. And I was like, okay, Lord, it's in your hands. I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. And with that, I said a prayer. And with that, I started repeating Bible verses that I have in my memory and that. And then I started even singing to myself because I obviously couldn't sing out loud. Some of the songs from contemporary worship that I love. I started singing Christmas songs. I mean, you name it. I was just going through everything. And then I would go back and I'd start repeating Bible verses again. And probably Psalm 23rd was really important for me because it talked about not fearing and being calm and everything. And I just kept saying it over and over. And before I knew it, it was like they told me, oh, your test is over.
Mm.
And it just went that quick. But in some ways, I was having fun because I was celebrating the Lord. I was just, you're with me. I know everything's going to be okay. There's nothing to worry about. So,
Well, that's wonderful. So you've had three MRIs,
yeah,
right? And you're okay.
I'm fine. There's been no growth since the first one. I had to do one at 6 months and at a year,
Okay.
and they'll repeat it in another year. And then they said eventually they'll start going like 2 years and whatever, so that as long as there's no growth, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in an area where it won't affect my functioning,
Mm-hmm.
and which is nice to know. You don't have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
The surgeon that I go to is really, he's calming. He is
Mm-hmm.
just really helps you to understand everything and not to worry, and that's the big thing. So, but no, it's amazing putting things in the hands of the Lord. It's like it works. No medication. I was the calmest I've ever been, and when it was over, I was like, praise Him,
Mm-hmm.
because I got through it without a problem.
That's wonderful. I know I had one MRI back when I was in high school for my shoulder, and it was a challenging experience back then. I remember how closed in you are in an
Mm-hmm.
MRI and how that can induce panic or fear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how God's presence just met you in your great need
Yes,
during that
and
time.
I knew as soon as I was going into the machine, He was there
Mm-hmm.
because there was just this calmness that I had never had before when I went in. Because when you go in for the brain MRI, you're in this tunnel and you see no light.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can keep your eyes shut and stuff, but that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just that calmness that I've never had before. And I knew why, because He was with me. So,
Amen. Well, and you're not somebody who's not. I mean, you know medical world very well.
right,
I mean, you've been a nurse for many
too
years,
many.
too many years, and you retired as a nurse, and so you've been around the medical world. You've been there, and so you know both the blessings and the challenges
Mm-hmm.
of the medical world, and what you're getting yourself into,
Yeah.
and that's wonderful to be able to share that.
And I think, knowing that He's there for me whenever I go through something like this is important.
Mm-hmm.
I've had many challenges over the last couple of years, and I've leaned on Him a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and He's been there and He's helped me through it. And now this is the latest with the tumor, and it's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here and just
Sure.
sharing this story and being willing to be just open about your faith. And that's such a big
Mhm.
part of what it means to be a follower of Jesus, is that
Right.
we're open and real, and we're engaging God in all walks of life, but also in those moments that are challenging and
Mhm.
very, very difficult.
And we know that He's there for us. We just have to look towards Him and say, help me.
Mhm.
That's the big thing.